Hello, everybody, and welcome to Just Audio, the pop culture podcast. We understand that you have your choice in podcasts, and we love that you're listening to ours. I'm Zeke Fowler, and I'm with my co-host,
Micheal Lacker.
And today we're going to discuss various topics. This is a pop culture topic show, so anything's fair game. We'll think of things. We have a list right here on my computer, so don't worry.
It's literally like a game of Cards Against Humanity. You know, like anything's fair game, except maybe like pissing into a pool of children's tears.
No, can't say that. Now Evan's gonna get mad at us.
Oh, is it?
Because that's Evan's thing. No, Evan's gonna know.
For those of you who don't know, our friend Evan, he also has a podcast. You should check it out called Oh the Humanity. Free plug for you, Evan and Chuck. Yeah, so they have a whole podcast devoted to the they use Cards Against Humanity cards to prompt themselves and riff on topics. But anyways, let's get to our subject matter for the day.
All right. Now before we start off with anything, why don't we get to weeks? Like, how's your week been?
You know, not too shabby. I found out how many car insurance, so I'm looking for that. That's fun.
Can be. I don't drive, so I wouldn't know.
It's not fun. Especially when you have 2 accidents on your car history report, and you're like, well, okay, $4,000 a year. That's great. That's excellent payment. No, it isn't. So I'm looking for some cheap car insurance. I know, like I've been looking at eSurance in the general and all those places and all the cheap ones. And well, I think I'm gonna get a beater car. Try to invest in that and make some payments on that and see if I can get insurance that's cheaper and do something like that. So, what about you, Zeke?
Well, I've been setting the podcast up, doing a bunch of other things, just mostly riding and getting high. Normal Zeke, a normal Zeke thing to do.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's probably true.
Yeah. Do anything artistic? Like anything else for your week? Like,
well, I think I'm gonna be auditioning for some stuff coming up. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I think there's an audition coming up for me this weekend. I think I'm probably gonna audition for Beauty and the Beast at Snoqualmie Falls Forest Theater, possibly. Not totally sure about that one, but we'll see.
Good.
Any working on your comics?
Yeah, working on my comics, working on my scripts, my novels. Just constantly writing. You got to keep doing it. It's hard.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, also, Zeke here is a big time comic book scripts, you name it, kind of writer. He if it's writing, he does it. He's very inventive, and I'd recommend giving some of his works a good look through if you ever have the chance. I'm sure links will be posted in the description, whatever, you know.
Whenever I actually finish.
Well, yeah.
I gotta finish them first. You know, you can't just like.
Yeah, I mean, you know, no rough drafts. I mean, the rough drafts are for other eyes only. But
yeah. But I'm finished with some things. Cool. All right. So weeks went more quickly than expected.
No, they go pretty quick. I mean, yeah. Weeks are ephemeral. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right then. So let's just move right into topics. First topic I'm going to bring up is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is coming out. I understand that you are not the biggest comic book fan, but like
I wouldn't say I'm not a big comic book fan. I think that's unfair to say. I think I guess not informed. It's sort of like those people who kind of vote for like the presidency and they don't really know what the hell they're voting for. That's kind of what I'm like. It's like I know Batman, I know Superman, I know kind of their general things, but I don't know like all of the little intricate lore about Batman, and I know all the intricate lore about Superman. I'm not as invested as some people are, so I wouldn't say I'm like in that sense I'm not like a fan, you know what I mean?
I'm deep in the mythology. I know him well. I gotta say though, like I was like, you talk to anybody, I did not like Man of Steel, but I am very excited for this movie because it is Batman versus Superman. I mean, that's
right.
It's like, it's just 2 titans clashing. I'm a little like, one of my like jerk reactions to it is I don't like that these highly intelligent men, the first time they're gonna meet is going to clashing fists, but you know, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how it makes a good movie. I mean, what do you want them to do? Like Batman and Superman have a cup of tea at a table in the middle of Metropolis.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, I mean, that doesn't make for a great movie. That's like a YouTube sketch, and that'd be a great YouTube sketch.
That would be a great YouTube sketch.
I would love to see Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne just sit there sipping some tea, having like a little dramatic dialogue, like on a cop show, like you would see on like primetime ABC, like, you know, Castle or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of energy is fun. You know, it's fun in the right place. But for a 2-hour movie, I mean, come on, like, I mean. I agree, but it doesn't make great cinema, you know?
Yeah, they gotta fight, but just like, I know, just like, it's just all of, I have, just so many feelings about what I'm going into, because, like, I'm excited to see it, even though I was not a big fan of Man of Steel, like, I don't really like Zack Snyder being in charge of Superman, because Superman is supposed to be like Superman's supposed to be like this, he's an, like, kind of like, though, like, in the trailers for, like, the original Man of Steel movies, they had this line which is like, you will be an ideal to strive towards, and that's what Superman is. I mean, I know it's like, and granted, you know, he's not perfect, he is, like, for lack of, like, not only does he look human, he is human, for lack of a better word. I mean, he is, like, but he has always been, like, even, like, when he was little, like, even in comics where, like, there's actually, like, you read Multiversity, and they got, like, the first thing, like, one of the first, like, issues they have in Multiversity is Nazi Superman. He's still actually a really cool guy. Like, he believes in the common man, he believes in helping people, all he wants to do, like, I know Superman, sorry, not Superman, but Spider-Man is, like, the epitome of, with great power comes great responsibility. Superman is the ideal of great power comes great responsibility. He has so much power that he is lifted away from fear and pain that he just wants.
And you know, he's kind of like, I've always viewed Superman as this. Well, I mean, as a character to read, he hasn't been the most interesting because, you know, he's kind of essentially half of what, you know, omnipotence is. Yeah. He's not all knowing, but he's definitely all powerful.
But
that makes for kind of a bland character in terms of a comic book thing, unless you go really deep with him and his lore. And I'm sure, you know, the people at DC. I don't know as well as you would, but
I do like you bringing this point of view up, because that is like that is sort of the common man's point of view, and that's also why I think we ended up with something like Man of Steel, because we have
and sorry, just to interrupt. But even more than that, I think the whole thing with Superman is, you know, his perfection is with flaw in a way. You know, I think that, like, we as humans have, like, made him such a perfect character that we are trying so hard as, like, an audience to find some kind of flaw in him, because if he has no flaws, he's not relatable, because humans have flaws, and humans with flaws are relatable because we all have flaws, right?
Yeah.
And by having no flaws, I think it's sort of like, by having no flaws, it makes it very hard to relate.
Yeah.
And
another thing about that movie is that it also has, like, I don't know, a bunch of logic jumps. I understand Superman is, like, of course, a superhero, but then again, that's like, you're going to a superhero movie, you expect to see things like flying, laser vision, all that kind of stuff, but it's just, like, one of the things that always, like, this, like, kind of go, like, this is more towards Zack Snyder getting off of mythology and kind of going to him as a director, and maybe David Goyer as a writer who writes superhero films, but clearly does not understand superheroes. If you go back to that thing, like, way the fuck back about him talking about She-Hulk, fuck does that man not understand She-Hulk? Feminist, like, fuck, no, like, really, She-Hulk's a feminist icon. Like, you look at, like, especially if you look at her power set, like, she's a superhero whose main superpower is super strength. I know that's a really surface thing to bring up in terms of feminism, but a lot of women don't have that. They usually have something like, oh, it's something elemental or something pretty. No, she has raw brute force, and that's something that a lot of women don't have. Also, for a lot of women in
the comic book universes,
exactly. But
also, I mean, as an archetype, let's be real, because, like, I mean, if you look at DC, like, I would say that Wonder Woman's kind of like that. But
no, Wonder Woman definitely. She's toe to toe with the boys. Also, she's magic. She can punch Superman real hard.
Well, she's got that lasso of truth. I mean, that is the coolest thing. I think, like, just whipping somebody into, like, I almost feel like there's there's something deep seated sexist about that, but we won't.
Dude.
We won't get into that.
No. Actually, that's not sexist. Like, Wonder Woman's, like, to keep going on this tangent, because I like where this conversation's going. Like, the lore of Wonder Woman. The guy who invented Wonder Woman, believe it or not, is the guy who also invented the litmus test. Like, you put on the machine, and it's just like little etches go by. It's like the truth-telling machine.
That's not a litmus test.
That's not a fucking litmus
test.
That's
a polygraph test.
Thank you, polygraph. I'm an idiot. Anyway, so the polygraph. He actually invented the polygraph. Also,
did he?
He invented the polygraph. Also, he was
fans out there. We need you to fact check Zeke. Let us know in the comments.
No, he did invent the polygraph, but also he was a radical feminist. His whole views.
Okay.
No, his views on feminism was that women should be the ones controlling us, but they should be nice women controlling us. That's another thing to get into. But also, him and his wife created Wonder Woman, who was her entire design was based off this Greek woman that they dated together. This is all back in the 50s. That's Wonder Woman stuff. That's also you're not wrong with the lasso of truth being a bondage fetish, because that's what.
That's what I was getting.
No.
Yeah.
That's what the three of them were into. But his Wonder Woman.
I knew there was something there.
No, Wonder Woman.
It wasn't sexist, but
Wonder Woman is.
I was alluding to that.
No, Wonder Woman is about control, but like a dominatrix, you are controlling the person, but you're being nice about it. You're not you want to fake hurt them. You don't want to hurt them.
Well, also, there's safe words and whatnot. So.
Of course, this Wonder Woman, but she's in the movie too, and I hope. And here's the thing, I don't like Gal Gadot as a choice, because she's more of it. She's more of the fact that she's not because what she looks like or who she looks like. She's just green, too green as an actor.
Oh, she's just okay. I totally understand.
Yeah, but you know what? I think she'll do fine. I really, because
she'll grow into the role.
I believe so. But going back to Batman v Superman, that's my things in Superman. The way Zack Snyder directs, I don't think you'll have a problem with Batman. I think if you're going to do a new Batman movie, they should have done Zack Snyder first. Maybe get I don't know. I can't really at the top of my head think of someone to redo Man of Steel, but what's done is done. That's cool. Out of all of these tangents, going back to Man of Steel, a lot of reviews have come out recently.
The pre-critic reviews.
A bunch of the critic embargo's up, so we got some critic reviews. But before any of that, a bunch of lucky fans got to go to a screening, and it was overwhelmingly positive. People are just oh my god, this is the greatest film ever. Marvel, DC's coming. It was this is the best thing ever. My favorite thing was 4 different tweets were yo, fuck Man of Steel, BVS, this is our guy. And I'm cool. But then a bunch of other critics came out, just people I trust, even the fucking, I don't know if you know the Joe Schmo show.
No, not too well.
Okay, so the Joe Schmoes, they also have that in Collider Video. They're a big movie critic, movie news website. Most of the I'd say 90% of their staff just fucking loved Man of Steel, and they have more when they got to see it, their review was more it's Of course, I'm definitely gonna judge myself. But
you always got. I think in some cases, it's good, but I think when you're spending $12 on a movie ticket, go make the judgment for yourself. It's I think kind of going off the review aspect, just a small tangent. I know some people like to look for the reviews, when they buy video games or something, and I think that's a very wise thing to do, especially because video games are more of an investment in terms of money, because you're spending $60 on something that you may be a piece of crap,
So that kind of brings me up to something. We'll have this topic later. We'll come back to... Actually, we're going to come back to the video game review because it's just something I found that was hilarious. We'll go back to it later.
Well, and I think we're just going to talk about anything crazy in general. I have another topic actually next. But we'll get to that in a second.
Okay, cool. But, going back to Batman vs. Superman, just going back to another review I heard, was Movie Bob Chipman. He's a dude I respect. Certain things I disagree with. I think personally, I think he's way too obsessed with superhero films being loftier like the comics, which I am totally for, but I don't think everything needs that. Recently he did a Daredevil, the Daredevil Season 2 review came out. It's a great show, of course. Don't know why that's on the topics. But Daredevil Season 2 came out, and he criticized, the seriousness of it as being something more like this middle schooler's idea of this is so cool. Look at Matt Murdock getting beat up, and just blood coming from his teeth, and he's flipping around like a ninja. That's not actually his voice, that's just me doing serious voice, which comes out as the Southern man.
Okay,
I did grow up in the South, so that's where that's from, but
You could have fooled me, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, but that's kind of his view on it, but I disagree. I think it actually is just legitimately serious, but when you have something like Daredevil, he is an acrobatic guy. I think that's them adapting the comics that's doing it right, because Daredevil is a dark comic book. But like, and also I don't blame him from like maybe being too like shied away from dark and gritty things, because if you look at all the dark and gritty stuff that has come out recently, like the first two Amazing Spider-Man movies, which I hated. You look at something like Fan Four Stick, which we saw, and I fucking hated. And now I have a thing of like, it's like, oh my god, my family died. Well, you know what, man? Take that feeling of your family dying, then add going to see Fantastic Four to it, and that's how I'm feeling right now. That's not just something I will do or apply to things, because fuck that movie. No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I believe a lot of people were scared because like Josh Trank wanted to go in a direction. It was a darker direction, and I would have liked to see his full version, because like you can totally tell like the first act of that movie is done by him. There's some things I don't agree with. Like there's some leaps in logic I don't agree with. Like young Reed Richards blacked out all of like this area of New York City. I don't know if it's all of New York City or if it's implied, but just this area of New York City. And you just skip years later, and there's not even like a mention of like, oh, if it isn't Mr. Richards, the guy who fucked up New York City for a day when he was a kid. And there's like one of those things like, I don't know why I didn't mention that. And also the car, like the car being sent somewhere and you get rocks, you get sand and rocks back. I understand like that's that's like matter transportation, but also when you look at that, the car could have just disintegrated. That's more of a visual key for the audience. Like, but beside the point, they did their thing right. Also, the fucking science show, like showing up there, like I think the kid being smart enough to make something that would black out a city, like they should have just jumped from like maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a notable
to me being immediately to Beck's building. But beyond that critique, the first act of that movie, I'm actually fine with. Even at the like when they made the drunken dumb decision to go to the planet and them ending up mutated because they fucked up. That's their fault. And that first scene there was horrific. That's some good body horror. But just that second half shits the bed, and we don't need to talk about it because it's good.
Well, I
understand going back to that. I understand like seeing darker things can get like got him scared. Like we associate things like Daredevil, but beside the point, dark and gritty Batman. God, we're fucking off topic.
Yeah, I'm just letting it kind of go. I mean, you were kind of like.
I know. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings, and I'm just glad I'm able to talk to him about someone. You're my buddy.
Okay, I'm glad I can be your therapist. You at home, I'm glad you can be
special friends. Anyway,
I'm glad you guys can be Zeke's therapist as well.
So
let's move on to a different topic.
Yeah, I think it's time. We've
let me bring up something I've been kind of been interested in lately.
Okay.
I don't know if you've been following the YouTube community the YouTube community lately, and like
Well, I watch YouTube in a replacement for television, so sure, kind of.
Okay.
Continue.
So one of the big issues on YouTube has been YouTube not policing YouTube at all. Such as
in what way?
Well, in multiple ways. I think one of the biggest issues is freebooting, where people steal each other's content.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And that's been a big problem forever. Particularly though, if you look at like reaction channels, specifically, like I'm not going to name any names, but I shouldn't have said specifically then. But there are certain reaction channels, and I'm sure you out there can use your imagination to figure out which ones those are.
I'm not a fan of them, but yeah.
Well, you don't have to be, but I mean, if you're aware of them, that's what matters.
Because it's just like I don't know. It's just the epitome of hey, watch me watch this.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
At least with
but some people. But the fact is, people like them.
It's weird, yeah. It's kind of like I guess it's like it's good white noise,
right? And
or like if you want to or like maybe it's like, oh my god, I really like this. I want to know if someone else on the internet shares my opinion, and you get like immediate feedback from
right. It's sort of like a gratification kind of thing. I don't understand exactly why people love the long reaction shows. I know there are some reaction channels that do their material tastefully, and those people are like H3 Productions, for example. I think they add a level of self-deprecating humor to to their material, which makes it very interesting. And they also don't do.
Also, they don't show the video that often, and if at all, they don't show the video at all. They're just like, hey, they assume you've seen the video, and they're just talking about
exactly. And that's the thing that I was kind of going to bring up is
I don't mind that kind
of
a lot
reaction. And that's the thing is because they're actually doing what fair use suggests and transforming the content by using it as an example.
One second. Come on.
So if you don't know, Zeke's got a dog. I think this is Cheech and Dixie, both of them.
Cheech and Dixie.
Oh yeah, they're little what, Chihuahuas?
Chihuahuas, yes.
They're both little tiny Chihuahua dogs. They're very, very cute. Very adorable. Lippy little dogs.
No, Cheech. No.
Growly little dogs. You can hear them. It's very adorable.
Big Spike.
So basically, the whole idea of these reaction channels that we're mentioning here.
Dixie.
They have this idea where they show the whole video. They don't really make much noise throughout the whole video, and it's essentially stealing people's content. Like, there's not much transformative quality to it. They don't really say too much. They maybe say like, "Oh shit," or "Ha ha ha, that was funny," like here and there, and they're not really doing too much to add to the content of the video. And
it's just like watching a dude. It's
basically stealing the video. It's ripping off the creativity and content that these other content creators are producing. And I mean, we're now venturing, Zeke and I are venturing into this realm of content creating with this podcast, and hopefully we improve it as we go along and all that kind of stuff. But this is our start. We would hate it if someone took our work and used it for themselves. I mean, if they used a clip as like an example of something that we said, that's fine. But I mean, because it's not the whole thing. But it's like if they used our work in our entirety, that's stealing our work. It's sort of like you painted a piece of art, and then someone took that art and said it was theirs, and you weren't able to effectively claim it. But even if you were able to claim it, YouTube doesn't. I mean, the law doesn't say anything and can't do anything about it for whatever fucking reason. And that's kind of the issue that's going on YouTube is they don't really police that.
Yeah, and there's
not effectively at least.
Not effectively, but then you got things like another the funny thing is the reaction channels never don't try and pet him, he's gonna bite you again. Anyway, so it's just of course something the funny thing is about that reaction channels where it's just a dude sitting watching a smaller version of that video, they never get in trouble. But then you got guys like Channel Awesome with Nostalgia Critic, and he's straight up doing real reviews. He will show clips for reference, and he will talk through them. He'll do something like, "Look at this thing happening." That's my impression of him. And he's just while you're watching a video to express a point of this is why this is bad, or this is why this is good, or why would you add this to a movie, or what is the point of this? He's actually doing real critiques. Yet his entire channel gets taken down. And you got things like I hate and you got channels like I hate everything, channels like I don't know, it's other shit, and they're just other channels like that, and they just get don't pet him. I told you. You see him growling? You hear him, people? You probably don't. Look at you little. You were 6 pounds and 2 inches tall. No, you are not scary. You are not scary, little man. But anyway, channels like that just get taken down and they don't get punished, and they make millions. It's just really hard to be. It's really hard to be creative. And,
yeah, and I think
of course, we also
have people like Grade A Under A who's making great work out there. Also, I love his channel, and he shows clips of violence once in a while in his videos as reference. Not it's not even the real video. It's just a reference clip. Like what you were saying earlier. Yeah. And his video gets flagged. And he gets a strike against his account or something like that. I actually don't know that part. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what happened. So don't quote me on that. Don't say that that's fact. I don't.
I'm one. However, I am one to judge on the whole reaction video thing, because on my on the channel I used to watch TV, I got 4 uploads of me watching edited clips of anime I hate and just saying, "Oh God, fuck Rosario and Vampire." So I was part of the problem, but my problem stopped because the dude I used to edit those videos with didn't want to edit them anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, so Zeke's a hypocrite, but aside from that,
no, I'm not a hypocrite. I have no way or another opinion. The internet's so big and different. It's it's an entirely different field, and I think there should be rules, but its fair use is already certain defined. I think the only way to stop it is just to take fair use and just rework it.
I don't know that you need to rework fair use. I just think that you need to clarify what is in fair use and what isn't in fair use. You know what I mean? I think we just need to make it very clear, like, what you're doing is in clear violation of that, and what you're doing is in the lines of it. Because precedent needs to be set. That's the issue here, is because people are doing things that are clearly wrong, and we need to say this is wrong so that precedent can be set in some way. Like, let me give you a great example. This is one I will name because everyone knows this person by now. He's very everywhere. He's on Facebook, he's on YouTube, and that's SoFlo Antonio. SoFlo Antonio, in my opinion...
Oh, it's the... Are we really getting into... Are we really just... The first episode, we're already going to get into dank meme territory.
Yes, we're getting into dank meme territory.
Fuck, continue.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, you've probably seen his stuff everywhere. He's got a page on Facebook called SoFlo. I'm sure you're probably liked to it. And you see some great videos here and there that aren't his. Like, literally, this guy, he just posts videos of other people's work to Facebook and YouTube and takes credit for them and puts his ugly face in the beginning. Well, not anymore. And now he started giving credit, but if he can't get permission from the actual user, like, he just makes a fake Facebook account, puts it there, and says that this is their video when that's really not their video at all.
It reminds me of this cartoon I just watched, done by I think Matt Vargas. Originally he did a video which was like, it's like kids like, oh, what are kids gonna look like 20 years from now? And but he did one again, which was like, what is like Facebook piracy gonna look like 20 years from now? And it's just like it opens the same way with that video, but then you get this like dude who takes his daughter out of the car. He's just like, hey yo, look at this baby. Is that your baby? Excuse me, it's my baby. It just goes on like that, and it's just like, I love it. It's like, this is my baby. You can't take my baby. It's very.
These are my babies. You
it's
can't have
subtle
them.
Without being subtle.
Screw off.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, but SoFlo Antonio is a big YouTube channel. Has multiple YouTube channels. Gets probably roughly, I don't know, $20,000 to $30,000 in YouTube money every month for basically stealing people's content. And when he does make YouTube videos, they're pretty awful. I guess that's the way I would put them.
It's
just a prank, bro. I mean,
those fucking hoverboards. You ride those fucking. Those are cancer in wheel form.
But I think the thing that makes him particularly as a YouTuber the biggest form of cancer out there, beyond the fact that he just steals content.
Oh, that's a little mean. That's
No, it's not mean, because for what I'm about to say.
All right, yeah.
Just follow me. He actually has a prank on his channel.
Something cancer. The fuck am I doing?
No. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty strong word, but you got to back it up, right? So that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to prove my point. He made a YouTube prank video, and the thing is, I know his pranks aren't fake because you know pranks are good, quote unquote, on YouTube when they actually are, they get reactions that you're looking for, you expect, because they're supposed to be. I mean, they're fake. We all know pranks on YouTube are fake. His aren't fake because of the shit that happens to him is so either too strong of a reaction or not any reaction at all. And you can kind of get that from the vibe of his videos. Now, one of the pranks that he did do, which was... I'm going to
stop you for a second, just my dog.
Look at him. He's just staring at me.
He's just staring at you, and he's got his little head on me. He's like, I got you, Zeke.
He's so adorable.
You can do nothing to protect me. You are a chihuahua.
One of the things, though, that he did do was he made a prank video where he pretended to go up to random girls' beverages in public and pretend to drug them.
That's a little bit like that Sam Pepper shit.
It's in that territory, yeah. And I mean, Sam Pepper, I don't know too much about Sam Pepper. I know that he was accused of rape and raping some girls, and I mean, I say that so casually, but like, I just don't know the full story, so I'm not going to talk about Sam Pepper here. I do know more about SoFlo.
I trust Lacey Green, but continue.
No. I mean, I don't not trust Lacey Green. I just don't know any of the information.
We don't know them people.
I just don't know any of the information on Sam Pepper. That's all. I just never saw that part.
Fair enough. But I know it's like, drugging girls ain't cool. That's a very fucking...
No, obviously, like, it's awful. And like, I think even as a prank, like, I don't think that's even grounds for being a prank. Like, even if it's a fake prank, like, you just don't do that. Like, no. And I think in addition, I think that kind of perfectly describes who SoFlo is as a YouTube content creator. Because he literally is doing something that's so fucked up and wrong and yet he just doesn't give a shit.
You one man. That was your one man tirade against SoFlo.
Yeah, I'm just so against people stealing other people's works as an artist, as a content creator, as an actor, whatever you want to call yourself. Whatever you want to call me and Zeke, whatever, hosts. The point is, we are making some kind of content, and
attempting to.
And we hope that our content is our property and doesn't get jacked by some freebooting dipshit out there who's making money off of our work, because that's offensive. It's like we don't want people doing that. We want to make money, if at all. Unless it's someone
cool like Cranky Construct, you can make cartoons of us talking. I love you.
Okay, sure. I mean, but that's a different thing entirely. Okay, I mean, like those Markiplier animated versions of his Let's Plays or something.
Yeah.
But those are a little bit different, because they don't even use the full Let's Play dialogue too.
No, it's transformative work.
Yeah, it is transformative because you're taking the dialogue and yada yada yada. But
it's that. I think
I'm talking about stealing the content just straight up ripping it. No edits, no transformation. Just this is what it is.
You've made a good point. You've presented it. Now we're going to go play devil's advocate and present why it's okay to fucking pirate things. Allegedly.
No.
Toei Animation has just announced a new Kamen Rider series for Amazon Video in Japan. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That means that's staying with the future. That's stepping up entertainment. It's being on the right side of history. This new Kamen Rider series is Kamen Rider Amazons. It's based off the old series Kamen Rider Amazon, which was one of the crazier seasons. It's like instead of like this dude being an experiment of like a remnant Nazi cult, he was just a Japanese guy who was raised by these tribal people in the Amazon. 70s is crazy, kids. And he ended up mutating into this giant piranha man who would go fight monsters, just like how original Kamen Rider was a cyborg grasshopper man who'd go fight monsters. But anyway, this new series is more based off it than being anything about it. It's got two guys, different views, and it looks really good. Like, I definitely look it up, Kamen Rider Amazons. Check out J Fusion or Ori Rens or Toku Nation to see like the trailer about it. I like what I see. I like the look about it. I like the producer/director's mission statement, which is that he feels that Kamen Rider has lost its fangs, quote unquote, and he wants to bring it back. And no better way to bring it back than Kamen Rider Amazon, a Kamen Rider that can actually bite people.
Okay.
But here's my thing about it, and it's like it's more of a joke than I'm saying pirate this shit. But it's a show made for the internet, like Netflix. It's going to be on Amazon Video, which is their version of Netflix. But only in Japan. This is a show put on the internet on an internet platform. And it's only for fucking Japan. And as a fan, that pisses me off because it makes me feel like, do you not want my money? Do you not want the attention? Because I don't maybe it is. No, he's gonna bite you. He's just being weird because he's not in an uncomfortable spot. He's in an uncomfortable spot. Talking to my dog again. Anyway, no, it's just like, oh my god, I want to see it so bad, but I'm probably gonna have to go through the Vimeos or the deep webs to see it.
Well, and I mean, pirating I think is its own issue. I guess I'm just saying, I think pirating and freebooting are slightly different.
That was a joke. I was making, of course, like actually doing or like giving a good example of pirating. I just wanted to segue into talk about Kamen Rider Amazon because I'm really fucking excited for it.
Okay.
I'm so excited for this. I know you don't know shit about Kamen Rider.
So Zeke is a big Kamen Rider Power Rangers fan.
No, Tokusatsu in general. It is my favorite genre of media.
So
it's what I want to make.
He loves Japanese like Power Ranger stuff, kind of that aspect. For those of you who don't know what Tokusatsu is,
it's to explain rough explanation. It's Tokusatsu is the Japanese word for special effects, but what normally gets referred to as Tokusatsu are hero shows, which like over here would be like the Flash, like CW's The Flash. That's like under the definition of what people consider Tokusatsu. That is a tokusatsu.
But imagine it with like a Japanese anime kind of flair.
Oh, yeah, live action. No, yeah, that's a better thing. It's basically live action anime. A lot of it's not good, but all of it is watchable. Is what I will say about it.
and it's Zeke's thing, but
yeah.
I guess to kind of put a little button on this whole freebooting topic. Don't do it. Don't do it to make money.
We're going back to it. Sure.
I mean, just guys, don't do it at all.
He's like, it's
please.
done.
No, it is. I mean, hey.
We're on new topics. New topics.
Okay. Well, I think what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna take a little bit of a break. Put in any sort of like random plugs. This is where we take some time to do the business, if you know what I mean. Discuss what we're gonna do the next part of the show, and we'll be right back.
So Michael just used the bathroom.
Yeah, that was the thing. Anyways, welcome back. We are here, second half of the show.
Yep.
Part
so
part
from
2, Act 2.
Sum up from Act 1, Batman v Superman. We are excited? Question mark.
And freebooting is bad.
Freebooting is bad, and Kamen Rider Amazons is exciting, and fuck Toei for not letting me watch it.
On to the next part.
On to the next part. All right. Actually, we were talking about it over the break. Fire Emblem. I have every once in a while there's one of those like video game reviews that is just from a guy that wanted nothing to do with it, but it just turned out like he was he or she or they were the only journalist there at the time to do it. And I know I love Cheech, but quit making him growl. But anyway, this dude, he has, like, from MTV, like, look it up, go to MTV/Fire Emblem Fates review, and this guy gave the most, like, condescending, like, fuck anime, fuck this dumb anime game, this game is designed for people who don't want to go outside and talk to people, it's just waifu bait bullshit, which Fire Emblem is, but the way he said it was very improper, and it was just so, like, I was like, it's one, like, I was just reading it and laughing, because, like, it's such a surface look at this game, like, he never talked about the mechanics, he never talked about how to play the game, he just talked about what a crappy time he had having his avatar marry someone and have kids. Like, this is what this game's for.
Now, let me say one thing.
Yeah.
First of all, I love my waifu bullshit.
You have not read the article either.
Second of all,
tell you what, I'm just gonna go. While you're talking, I'm gonna go look up the article.
I love Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is a beautiful game. I've not had a chance to play this most recent one, but I can tell you from what I have witnessed, it is looking pretty damn beautiful. And I really want to play it. I just haven't had the money to go out and buy it, but I've always been a fan of the games. I played Awakening. Awakening was brilliant. In my opinion...
Keep stalling.
I'm not stalling. Fire Emblem Awakening, just to briefly talk about it while he pulls up the article. Okay, I guess we are stalling. It did a very good job of reigniting the series, and I think without that game, Fire Emblem Fates would not be possible. And yeah, okay, they add a little bit of clickbaity waifu bullshit kind of stuff, to the game, and you can make the argument that it's kind of gimmicky and weird, but I actually thought it was kind of fun and interesting because you have to talk with people about like, oh, who would you marry off? It's like. And, you don't really think about it because it's Nintendo. I mean, like, Nintendo, you wouldn't think is a company that kind of does that kind of shit, but well, they did. But it's like,
yeah.
I guess the thing is,
I fell in love with the last Fire Emblem in a completely different way. I agree with all the criticism towards it being that it's easy because it is the easiest Fire Emblem game.
Not until you play on Lunatic or Lunatic Plus.
But even then, like the way that the maps are designed, they really get all the map designs are root the enemy. Unless you're trying to get the little extra characters you gotta wait for like chapter 25 to get. It's a little. You can zoom.
No. I mean, in terms of that, I guess in terms of the general
the way
map strategy, that's true. But like as the enemies get harder. They get harder. They get more powerful abilities. I mean, I'm not going to list them off because I don't know how familiar our audience will be with them. But I think the best thing to say is they get dramatically tougher and get abilities that are unique only to that level of difficulty, and that's tough. That's very tough to deal with. So, I think as you climb up the difficulty ladder. But if you're playing on like on normal or easy, of course, I mean, it's obviously gonna be easy. But even for normal, it's pretty easy for normal mode too. And then also if you decide to actually do classic mode, where if your characters die, they die forever. Well, that's a whole other challenge entirely to prevent them from dying. So
I can't find it. Whatever.
Okay, well,
I've given up on this task. It has been for naught, but you'll find it. It's hilarious.
It's out there. It exists.
Yeah, but speaking of Fire Emblem Fates, as someone who has played it, I am enjoying it. I started with the Nor path first. That was heartbreaking. The story behind that is like kind of like you get an option where it's like you get to pick your family, the family you grew up with, or the family that birthed you. Going to the family that birthed you is described as the decision you make with your heart. And that makes all the coming decisions even harder, and it totally makes sense. The reason, when you go to in Birthright, which I am playing right now, the family with that one, they slowly get to know you, but the family you grew up with, granted they knew you because you were locked in a fucking tower and they'd come visit you, but choosing them really solidifies the fact that you are family, and you there's oh my god, they were so we were thinking oh. Weren't going to choose us, but you did. So it's a decision made with your heart, and as such, your character makes decisions that are just fucked, because I'm not going to spoil anything, but just it's with your heart. But clearly with Birthright, it's based in your head, because it's no, because the whole thing's no, fuck King Garen. He blew up a village. I was there. I was supposed to die. Nah, fuck that. I'm with these guys now. I love you siblings that I grew up with, but no. Fuck. And the more I look at that one, the Hoshido path, I'm just I would have made that decision. Even though I like the Nor path, so far I've liked the Nor path more. My only criticism to Hoshido, the Birthright Hoshido path has been fun. My only criticism is that I don't like any of the Hoshido characters. Not I hate them, or I have such neutral feelings to them. They are chess pieces to me, less than they are characters. And I loved Perry because they're just crazy homicidal nature. I liked Benny, who was this huge archetype of being the huge guy. Kaze, who's part of All Pass, is cool. It's all these neat guys were cool. I guess that's the only Hoshiden I really like at the moment is Kaze. But yeah, that's fun.
Well, and I understand they also just released the middle DLC where you can go your own path. Path.
I bought into the capitalist corrupt system and got the $80 version of the game, so I didn't have to wait for DLC, and I just had all three at the start.
So that's pretty cool.
Super cool. When people come to visit me before the DLC came out, they could see they actually have this certain section on your player ID card that says you have purchased these versions. And I've visited people and it said you've purchased Conquest, you've purchased Birthright, you've purchased Conquest and Birthright, because they picked one and they got the DLC. Mine has always been from the start, all three of these, and it's super cool. And you guys dumb. Yeah.
So beyond Zeke's bragging,
so fucking dumb.
This is a game that, without having played it, I can already tell you I want to play it. I'm very excited to play it.
The maps aren't boring. Also, the maps aren't boring either. They have a new function called Dragon Veins, in which all the royal characters and sires of royal characters, they have dragon blood in them, and so they can actually there's these points on the map that you can affect reality. One of them is for example, is you're on a map and it's you can hit something and then bamboo spikes will come out of the ground to stop people, or there's sand is really hard to move in the Fire Emblem game, so you can actually convert the sand into a plane. But you need
that's different. Because in Fire Emblem in the past, the terrain really mattered, and you couldn't really. There were panels which affect something else. They're known as pois in the Fire Emblem community, but they haven't really had too much of a dynamic use other than maybe they deal a little bit of damage if you're standing on them, or maybe they affect your movement. But it sounds like they've developed it in such a way that it's even more
definitely what I like about
akin to strategy.
What I'll say about Fire Emblem Fates is that Awakening was I would say Awakening's a soft reboot because it ends the storyline started by like the Marth character and like all of his like Marth, Elm, like all the people like all them people moving forward. And it kind of goes from like it kind of goes to a place where it's like that was the template that we want to use going forward, but we're bringing back what worked in the old, and we're adding some new features. And I do overall, I like this more than Awakening, because as much as I fell in love with Awakening just because I had no idea going in, and granted it was easy, but it just was so cool. I don't know, it's like I had no idea what was going on, so I just walked into it fell into the story. I had no idea there was custom characters, no idea any of this. And that's what kind of made me fall in love with it. But I will admit, like doing multiple playthroughs, it just gets boring. Of kill everybody. Okay. Done. Whoa. I need like, oh crap. And then like, also like game breaking, but also kind of like became an obsession. It's like, oh wait, you're not strong enough to beat these people. That's okay. I'll spend all my money on reeking boxes, make my money back, and then get more experience, and I'll just come back dangerously overpowered for the next.
That's pretty true. Reeking boxes, for those of you who aren't familiar.
No, it's just like it's a tool that you can like.
Yeah, they're an item that you can use to summon like zombies on the map, and then you can beat up those zombies and get money and weapons. And stuff.
It's a grinding. It's a tool for the grind. No.
It is a tool for the grind, for the grinder in you, and it's worth it. Like, I mean, if you put in the time, like it makes your money back. Like, who doesn't like free money? I mean, it's a great system. You know, it's like
it's abusive though.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
you can abuse. It breaks the game.
Oh yeah. I mean, a little bit, but I'm sure they'll fix. I don't know if they fixed that in this new game or.
No, Hoshido. You just like actually that's really neat. You spend the Birthright Path. They do a neat thing where you spend your money to get challenges.
Oh, interesting.
So you have the option of like, it's like, oh crap, I might want to save up all this money to get as many vulneraries or concoctions as I can.
Which are healing items.
Get your healing items, but instead you're like, but everyone is underleveled, so you can spend a certain amount of money to each, like, the harder the map, the more it costs to spend your money. So like it's, and like if you just kept grinding on the easy, like you're just like, this is like one of the things is like only 50 gold. If you just keep spending 50 gold, you're gonna be there for like ever doing stuff. So it definitely messes with your attention, but also I think that's a fair balance to get more things. In the Norpath, it's just play the game. Experience is what you get. It's like older Fire Emblem games. I like Tenor so far. Hoshido, it's I'm warming up to it. At the moment I'm just getting everyone level 20 because I reached a point in the game that I can't go far without getting everyone killed, so I'm abusing the system again.
That's a good thing to know, though. I mean, like, it's good to know that there's tools in there to help the player succeed if they really have to. Like, they're not just, because that was one of the things about other older Fire Emblem games that I played. Was it was very story linear, so you just kind of went from like chapter to chapter to chapter. There was not really like any side maps or anything like that. And I'm very appreciative of the fact that the new Fire Emblem games give the player the opportunity to kind of grind and make themselves a little bit stronger so that they can prepare for the oncoming fight that is part of the storyline, you know?
But it's like, kind of like, but like it's supposed to be a hard game. It's kind of like Dark Souls, where it's like,
and that's okay. I mean,
where it's like half of the fun is getting your shit pushed in.
Well, I don't know if it's quite on the level of Dark Souls in terms of difficulty, but I think, I mean, as you play hard difficulties, yes.
No, I'm just example, not literal thing.
Well, of course. I mean, but I guess what I'm saying here is, I guess I appreciate the fact that you have the opportunity to increase the power levels over all of your characters, rather than you just kind of have to move to the next map, which was kind of akin to older Fire Emblem games. Not all older Fire Emblem games. I can't talk, apparently. But, you know, I think that's just what makes part of this new, as you said, reboot of the franchise in a way, really, really healthy. I think not only are the stories better, the marriage system is better. I think the future kid thing was really good and well done in Awakening, but I don't know how well it's done in Fates.
Entirely optional.
And it's,
the characters do nothing, but it's like, hey, I lost a Cavalier. Well, at least I birthed one. They're like they're totally optional backup units. They have nothing to do with anything. I do think they there's several controversies about the kids in it, but they're actually none of those things came up. Some of them are cool, like Soleil. I like Soleil. She's a bisexual character, even though she's not one of the gay options. But she's cool. I like Soleil. I liked Ignatius, who was Benny's kid. He was just like father, like son. He was just this like they were both these these teddy bears, giant men. But anyway, that's enough of that. Moving on to the next. We've rambled way too long on this next topic. I really don't know how to transition into it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Marvel has released their slate, so to speak. Take it with a grain of salt. For their next upcoming Netflix series. Of course, I love Jessica Jones. It's probably my favorite. It's got Kristen Ritter. Don't Trust the Bitch, Department 23, great show. Daredevil, no words to say. Both seasons incredible. I like them. I like them a lot. Their next lineups are going to be Moon Knight, Spider-Man 2099, Miss Marvel, The Punisher, no shit, and Brother Voodoo. I say no shit to The Punisher because he's a big part of Season 2 of Daredevil. Like, pretty much Season 2 of Daredevil is Season 0 for The Punisher. They have Baby Punisher in it, where he's just starting out.
Well, okay, so tell me about Spider-Man 2099. Is it sort of like... Is that like Miles Morales Spider-Man, or...
Let me just walk over to the bookshelf. My man, Spider-Man 2099. I have handed him the book I spent $40 on.
So is this just out of curiosity, is this the Miles
God,
Morales
they're fucking expensive.
Spider-Man, or is this a different Spider-Man entirely? Or
this
what?
is Miguel O'Hara Spider-Man, and he lives in the super future of 2099, where there is no more government. There is only corporations. Like New York is entirely owned by parts of New York are owned by Stark Industries and Alchemex, where our hero Miguel O'Hara is a geneticist there.
So basically, this is like sort of a appeal to what could happen.
It's just a cyber.
If human nature in current state kind of goes down this road of we don't change the fabric of our political structure.
But it's just not really. It's just more like typical cyberpunk with superheroes in it.
Okay, well then maybe I'm reading too much into it. But
no, that's part of cyberpunk. Is like capitalism is bad.
Okay, well, I'm looking at this. This is pretty interesting.
It's very 90s art.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like so 90s that it.
But yeah, no,
hurts.
that's the one I am most excited. That's the one I am most excited for, Miguel O'Hara, because he's a neat character in the way that he does not have the motto of "with great power comes great responsibility" on it. He became I was using it as a bookmark. He became what is this?
Just a receipt.
It's the receipt I bought the book with. Anyway, his motivation to be Spider-Man is to be a better person because let me talk to you about Miguel O'Hara as a human being. Miguel O'Hara is an asshole. He's part of the problem. And a juxtaposition they usually bring up is his brother, who is one of the protesters, which is illegal in the future. He's a illegal protester against all things capitalist, against all the major corporations doing fucked up shit to people. And this Miguel O'Hara's no, he works for those companies. He doesn't mind. He doesn't care that people get crushed along the way he was also part of this thing called the Corporate Raiders program, which were going to build super soldiers to go war with other companies. We've gotten to that. It's gotten to that point. Like I said, in this future, the distinction between company and country are entirely the same thing. And one of those programs is that they wanted to recreate the powers of Spider-Man, because in this future, a very uncharacteristic thing is that the Marvel Comics characters are gods. Normally, Marvel Comics characters are superhumans, as opposed to the DC characters who are super gods. Spider-Man was oh cool, if we had the powers of Spider-Man, just walking on walls, being nearly invisible, we could do anything. And Miguel O'Hara was originally going to move to another company, and in order to keep him to stay, he gets infected with this drug called Rapture, which gets him addicted to. It's it bonds the addiction of it bonds the DNA, and it's a bit it's a hallucinogen that's legal, but Alchemex sells it, and because it bonds to your DNA when you take the addictiveness of it bonds to your DNA when you do it. Fuck with my dog, man. It bonds to your DNA. The only way for him to oh fuck, I have to now work for Alchemex forever because he's an employee, so he gets free Rapture. So what he decides to do to fix the problem is splice his DNA with an original sample of his own DNA to get to like just immediately reset his system and like get rid of the rapture in his blood. An employee who was sort of like a jealous employee of his is like, nah, fuck that, and replaces his DNA with Spider DNA, and he now becomes the new Spider-Man of 2099. And his whole arc is less about with great power comes great responsibility. It's more of a story of atonement. Of like, I've been the biggest asshole forever, and now I have the his is more about like with his
right the wrongs of past.
No. We're going my continuing rambling of Spider-Man's whole arc is with great power comes great responsibility. He has the power, so he has the responsibility to do good with it. His is more like with great opportunity comes great responsibility. He looks at his position. He's like, I have I know the companies inside and out. I work for them. I have these cool powers. I can destroy and fix things to the very end. And I'm very excited for that. Moon Knight. Go another thing. Super excited for Moon Knight. It's Marvel's equivalent of Batman, except that he's either really magic or really crazy, and it's never the thing is that it's never explained. And like Moon Knight will show up in real events. He'll be part of real superhero teams, but no matter what issue he's actually in, like even if it's like he's not even a main character, we don't know if he's real. We don't know if what's going on is real. Like it's just so like he's so cerebral and interesting in that fact.
Well, it sounds like they have to do a really good job with him then.
Oh my god, no, I do not envy the person who has to adapt Moon Knight.
Well, and then Miss Marvel is one that I've kind of been interested about.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do the new Miss Marvel.
No, it's Kamala Khan, because Captain Marvel, the movie they got coming out, that's going to be Carol Danvers. And also Inhumans already exist, thanks to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Mm-hmm. So it will be Kamala Khan if they do a Miss Marvel show.
Sweet, that's really
that's going to be neat, because if you look at all the Netflix series, which are like these that truly dark and gritty, not like Man of Steel, which is more like edgelord shit. Like these like real serious scenarios. It's gonna be nice to have someone like there who's happy and fun, because that's what Kamala Khan is. She is like the ultimate, she's like the ultimate superhero fangirl who gets to be a superhero. And so that kind of aspect while living in the Netflix series. What are you doing, Dixie? What are you doing? Sorry, my dogs keep distracting me. Just having that type of personality juxtaposed in those like dark worlds, that's going to be fun to see. And then Brother Voodoo, I know nothing about.
Me neither.
The only thing I've looked up about Brother, I guess it's like, you know, some comic book nerds can listen. It's like, you're no fucking Brother Voodoo. You're not. How dare you call yourself a fan of Marvel? And I'm like, well, sorry, I don't know everybody. I had to look him up, and so far the only thing I could learn about him is that he's this really buff Haitian dude who has a stand.
Oh, like a stand from like JoJo.
Yeah,
so
it's
he's like a familiar.
Like some like the sun, like whatever the voodoo sun god is. Like that's where he gets his powers from, and like
so he has he has like a familiar of the voodoo sun god. Kind of.
It's like, and like whenever he uses his power, like the god is clearly behind him using his power. And apparently his brother's his arch nemesis. That's always fun to have like those kind of. I guess he'd be there. I guess he's gonna be the Thor for the Marvel Netflix series, and then of course the Punisher, like.
What else needs to be said about the Punisher? It's the Punisher. I mean, we know about the Punisher.
Punisher's gonna punish. Punisher's gonna, and like John Barenthal is the Punisher from what I've seen. Like I'm totally cool with him. He's fucking terrifying. Even in scenes where like you're supposed to feel good for him, you still feel like this motherfucker's gonna snap my neck any second. Which I want the Punisher to be. I want the Punisher to be terrifying at all times, even when he's completely relaxed. You should be terrified.
Well, I mean, there should always be that imposing fear of this guy has the power to do whatever he wants to me, you know, and that is a scary thing.
Yeah.
To feel powerless is very fearful, and it's very you know what I'm trying to say. I can't find the words.
I know. It's like so now is when you keep running out of ramblings to do. Just that you finally got to the point where.
Well, and I think this is about a good time to wrap up. So.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Thank you guys for listening. This is our first podcast. This is a rough draft of things to come. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep discussing how we want to improve and fix things. But this is our maiden voyage, as it were, and we hope that you guys enjoyed what you heard. Feel free to give us some notes, feedback in the comments. We're still trying to learn and trying to get better. So without further ado, I am Michael.
And I'm Zeke.
And thank you for listening. Ta-ta, farewell. We'll see you all in hell.
All right, bye, guys. Bye. Bye.